Hey, what's going on, everybody? Steve here, Raiken Profit over at RaikenProfit.com, coming back to you with another video. And just want to come on and answer a little Q&A and add some value this morning. I've been, traveling a bit over the last week or so, making my move from Connecticut down to Miami, Florida, and we actually arrived. I'm here with my good friend Avery, Romer the Romer. He's a YouTuber as well. And we actually are in Hollywood, the Fort Lauderdale area right now because the Super Bowl is in Miami, so it's like crazy. I think there was like 1 million people that came into town or something ridiculous. Someone was telling me. I couldn't believe it was that much. But anyways, things are crazy over here, but I still got my suitcase back there. I got my rebounder back here. But I just want to come add some value, especially to the people who are, thinking of starting a reselling business. It's, it's February. I think today's February 1st, right? So it's, going into the second month of the year. And I know a lot of people probably had a New Year's resolution or a goal to start their reselling business or scale their reselling business. And I bet you a lot of people have kind of dropped out already. What's up, Visions? Can you make $1,000? Such a funny conversation that we had. So a lot of people, they might have already given up on their goal, or maybe they're on the sideline, or maybe they've actually started their reselling business. Like my buddy Visions, he actually has, I know we were talking the other day, he has 30 or 40 items that he wants to list up. But maybe things are slow. Maybe you're not having the most success, or, maybe you're having some challenges. Would love to, add some value, answer some questions, and see how I can help you guys out. What's up, Betty in Indiana? The Kelly Hustle says, don't think about it, just go. Yeah, and I have a video that's coming out because when I was at the Myrtle Beach meetup, I actually met a woman who, fantastic woman, amazing energy. It was such a pleasure meeting her. And we have a video coming out. I have a video coming out talking about what happened, but she's been watching YouTube videos for 3 years and she's been sitting on the sideline, hasn't taken any action. And as crazy as that sounds, I think we've all been there in one or two areas in our life, whether it's health or relationships or fitness. And that's a challenge that a lot of people have, is they sit on the sidelines and they wait and they wait and they wait for the perfect moment. And there really is no perfect moment. That's one of the themes I've been talking about in a lot of my videos that are going to be coming, is there is no perfect moment to do something great in your life. Fat Elvis says, if you fail, fall on your back, because if you could look up, then you could get up. I love that motivational quote. What's up, Ron? What's up, Sean? Just sent you a video, brother. Good to see ya. Infamous sticker. Morning, y'all. Michael says, my challenge, the death pile. So if you have a death pile, that means one of two things. Mostly it means that you probably are not disciplined enough, or you're not managing your time good enough. If this occurs over a long haul, if you consistently have a death pile, which is like a stack of inventory that's getting bigger and bigger, and you're not listing it and it's growing and it's sitting there, you've got to pull back. You've got to realize that buying is great. And a lot of times we have this mentality that, we have to go sourcing. We have to go, find the deals at the thrift stores and the garage sales, because that's just free money. It's sitting there. That it's so profitable. I can't leave that inventory there. It's money. It's a savings account. And that's true depending on where you are in your business. But if you're new, especially if you're only 3 to 6 months into your reselling business, cash flow is so important. Cash flow. You got to keep the cash flow coming. You got to have that money flowing, because you might do $5,000 in sales, but maybe only $2,000 of that is actually bottom line profit, and you might be spending $1,000 a month in inventory. So you're only able to enjoy $1,000 of that cash flow, and that might not be enough for you. So keep listing those items. Keep listing those items. Yes, Kelly's saying cash flow is king. Do you guys ever see that Grant Cardone video where he's just like, if Visions is still in the comments, he just drives around, he's like, cash flow, baby, cash flow. He's going crazy. He's psycho. Love Grant Cardone, but there's some truth to that. Cash flow is so important. Don't fall victim to that death pile. You want to grow your inventory. It's okay to have yourself a little death pile, but make sure that it's remaining the same. So maybe you only have like 50 or 100 items unlisted at all times, right? Because it's always good to have an overflow, because you never want to have no inventory to list, right? That's not good. You always want to have some extra inventory so you're consistently listing, because that's how you're going to grow your business. That's how you're going to grow your business. But if that death pile is going from 100 to 200 to 300, and every month the pile is getting bigger and bigger, your cash flow is going to be hurting. So Christopher says, let's talk about the pain, Steve, in all caps. Pain was the price of admission into this new life. I feel like everyone, hold on. It's hard to see the comments. I'm trying to keep this phone up. Hold on one second. It's real. I need a better way to read these comments. I hit a button and I just deleted that comment. So whoever posted the pain comment, repost that again. I just deleted it. Fat Elvis says, agreed, you should always have items to list. You should never be caught up or behind. Exactly. I just timed, Chris Millio, I just hit a button. I timed you out for 300 seconds and deleted your comment. Chris is never going to comment on my YouTube channel again. All right, let me see if I can pull some of these comments out. Sean says, list, key. I'm dealing with my personal death pile right now. Actually, great advice. I think it's a challenge that a lot of us deal with. Lloyd says, how to handle limits on eBay. Shoes, any advice? Because I pick up sneakers like crazy, but want to use eBay. So what Lloyd's talking about is when you're first starting off on eBay, they're going to hit you with limitations. They're going to limit you on how many items you can list and the gross amount of value that you can list. So for example, they might say, all right, you can list 10 items, $500 value, either one. And once you reach that threshold, then you have to get over it. So there's a couple ways to get over that. Typically what eBay wants to see is experience. They want to see that you are providing a good customer service. They want to see that you're listing the items on a regular basis and you're shipping them on time, that you're getting good feedback, that you're providing a great customer service. Because when you sell on eBay and you provide a great customer service, the customer isn't really thinking, wow, Steve or Kelly or Jason _ shoes, right? Your eBay name. They're not thinking, oh, I love that seller. They're thinking, I love eBay. And the same happens when there's a negative experience. eBay's brand is what is affected. So eBay wants to make sure that you're going to represent their brand in the most respectable way, right? The highest class possible. So they put limitations on you. So how do you get past that? Number one is just you've got to work through it. So you've got to deal with your limitations. Typically after a couple weeks or a month, you give eBay a call and be like, hey, yo, what's up? This is, this is Heather, this is John, and, I've been listing for, don't say, hey, yo, what's up? But just call up and say, hey, I'm just calling because I have some listing limitations right now. It's only letting me list 100 items. It's only letting me list 100 items at $5,000 or whatever. Can I get that raised? As you can see on my account, I'm providing great customer service. I've got all positive feedback, so on and so forth. And they'll usually jack you up pretty good. I've had times where I've had like a $20,000 max and they've lifted it to like 100,000. But that first month or so, it's going to take a little bit of time. Just call eBay. Call eBay, and sometimes they'll reject you. Other times you just got to call and get a different person on the phone. But that's the best way. The first month or so when you're selling on eBay, stop worrying about the outcome. Stop worrying about scaling your business. Stop worrying about, I got to go from 0 to freaking 5,000 in 30 days, because it's not going to happen with a new eBay account. It's not. Focus on learning how to create great titles and learn about descriptions and learn how to really price items. Learn about the differences between buy it nows and auctions, and learn about the fees, and immerse yourself into the customer service. Study the sold listings. Go to thrift stores. Start to get an idea of what's happening in your landscape. Where are the opportunities? Maybe it's electronics or puzzles or board games or clothing or sporting equipment at your thrift stores. Maybe you find yourself a local auction. Start, finding stuff around your house and researching it. After a month or two, you'll be able to get your limitations raised up, but it's part of the process. What's up, Kelly? Electro, what's up? Got a tax form from PayPal today, 71K, and my bookkeeper is terrible. Panic attacks, here we come. What are you worrying about? What are you worrying about most? So you're saying your bookkeeper is terrible. What is your bookkeeper doing wrong? Because PayPal, they're going to cut you that 1099, which is going to be all your sales. So you're going to be liable to pay taxes on that. That's all considered profit unless you prove it not to be. And the way you do that is through your bookkeeping system, right? So tracking your cost of goods sold. And remember, if you spend $10,000 on inventory and you sell $10,000 worth of inventory, which means you sell all your inventory, then you could write that off completely. But if you spend $10,000 in inventory and you only sell $5,000 worth of it, you're only going to be able to write off that $5,000. And then that other $5,000 is going to carry over to the next year. And that's why your accountant is always going to ask you, what do you think the value is of your inventory that hasn't been sold? So they want to see how much you sold on inventory and then how much has it been, because they're going to carry that over, and it's just like a cycle that continues. So you've got to track how much you spent on your inventory. You've got to have a estimation of how much in terms of value sold and how much didn't. You want to track your office supplies, your overhead, your eBay fees, your expenses, your PayPal fees, your office supplies, any education, travel, meals and entertainment. You want to track it all, and then your CPA or accountant will tell you, okay, this is 100% write-off, this is 50%, because I think meals and entertainment used to be 100% write-off, and now I think that's a 50% write-off, which means you're not going to fully enjoy that completely. Yeah, but you want to track everything. And that's why I love Godaddy Bookkeeping. That's great, because Godaddy Bookkeeping, I think it's like $115 a year. And essentially what you do, and what I did, is I connected my credit card to it. So I have multiple credit cards. One is for personal only, and one is for business, right? So when I'm going out buying food for myself, or I'm using my credit card on personal things, I use that PayPal MasterCard. And then anytime that I'm buying office supplies or cost of, how do I say it, like inventory, or paying for shipping, or different things, like just different things on my business with my credit card, I'm using that, and that's connected to my Godaddy Bookkeeping, and it pulls it into the system. And then you can go in and you can tag each one of your expenses. And you want to tag it because each expense might be treated differently in the whole spectrum of writing things off and whatnot. So set up an appointment, Kelly is saying, with your CPA, with your bookkeeper, because you definitely have to know what you're doing, and you don't want to, come to the end of the year and, be dealing with a pile of, craziness, right? I've made that mistake. Electra says, I haven't kept book of inventory. I don't have a bookkeeper. So what I would do is save all your receipts. So this is what I used to do. I used to save all of my receipts, and then each month I would reconcile everything. Like I would put it into my system, and I would tag each thing as cost of goods. And I manually did that. Now I just use credit cards, and everything goes in automatically. And then we have a system based on the location to automatically tag it and whatnot. And I have a bookkeeping company now because, I have the luxury of, I've built the business to the point where I've been able to outsource some things. But if you're new, save your receipts. You can also get a receipt book for garage sales and write yourself your own receipt. But yeah, you got to track things. You definitely want to track things, because taxes will eat you up. Taxes will definitely eat you up, and you don't want to overpay on taxes. And not the government, but the IRS is never going to, come and say, oh, you overpaid, here's some extra money, or, you shouldn't be paying this much. They're going to take as much as they possibly can. So that's your responsibility as a business owner. There's phases to this. There's levels to this game. And when you first get started in eBay, you're like, all right, I'm just going to sell as much as I possibly can, right? And then you're like, okay, now I got to get organized. And now I got to, figure out an inventory management system because I'm losing things. And then you have to, track your income and expenses. And then you get hit with your first 1099 and your bookkeeper's on your ass. And you're like, holy crap, I owe so much in taxes. I have to prove all this. And then you're like, I can't prove it. Now you're like, wow, I have to put a system in place. So there's levels to it. And then you get to a point where you're like, I can't scale my business anymore because I have no time. I'm sourcing all the time. I'm listing all the time. I'm shipping all the time. Maybe I should hire someone. And then you hire somebody and things go great. And now you're dealing with challenges of employees and payroll services and making them happy and managing them. And there's a whole new set of challenges every level that you grow this eBay business. So it's interesting. It's fun. What's up, junk man? Hey, Heather, how you doing? Alan Taylor, what up, Alan from Clearwater? Lloyd says, thank you. This is my second month and it was nearly not as good as my first month. I just appreciate you. I wonder why it wasn't as good as your first month. Did you not list as much? Did you get caught up in some of the logistics? Maybe you were studying more. Maybe you were listing just as much, but you weren't listing items that had, you know, as large of a market, or maybe they weren't fast sellers, or maybe you just listed a bunch of stuff the first month and all your good stuff sold, so your revenue looked high. You don't want to look at your eBay business in just a 30-day period. The more data you have, the better you can see. And one thing I want to mention as well with an eBay business, and I have a video that's actually coming. I just recorded it the other day. It should be coming over the next couple of weeks. But, you know, one of the things I wish I would have known before starting eBay is it's a little roller coaster. There's a lot of ups and downs and peaks and valleys. And, you know, the algorithm is funny in itself. And some months you'll do better than others. And there's always a seasonality factor. And, you know, it's an up and down, you know, battle at times. So just got to stay consistent. When things start to go down, you want to make sure that your process goes up. So maybe sales are starting to dip. Don't let your listing and don't let your sourcing dip. Keep listing, keep sourcing, right? Keep immersing yourself in the process, because when things are bad, they're going to be bad. But if you stop listing, they're going to get really bad. But then when things get good, if you stay positive and keep listing in the bad, you're going to have some unbelievable months. And, you know, my good friend Vinny, do you guys know Vinny? He's been on my channel a bunch. We've talked about toys. He runs a toy business. He is on fire right now. I think the last time we had him on the channel, I think his 30-day numbers were like 7,500. Excuse me, his 60-day numbers were like 7,500. I think they had gotten up to 8,000, if you guys remember those videos. Now they're almost up to 14,000. So he's been doing like $6,000 to $7,000 a month with just toys. And he's been able to do that because he's been going to auctions now. He's been doing some online purchasing. He's been buying off Facebook Marketplace. He's been listing a lot more. I'm so proud of Vinny. Big shout out to Vinny. He's taken his business to a whole nother level. Life with Lenny. What's up, Lenny? Hey, man, watched the thing last night put on by Dylan. Hell of a lot of awesome info, man. Thanks for pushing that. Yeah, for sure. What Life with Lenny is talking about is I don't know if you guys have ever heard of Wholesale, but I have some of my like good friends. I don't know, I was almost consider them some of my best friends, Dan and Dylan of the Wholesale Formula. They're my mentors as well. They have a free workshop going on right now. They've done over $25 million with Wholesale. And you can apply this to eBay, you could apply this to Poshmark, you could apply this certainly to Amazon, but they've done over $25 million in sales. And they started thrifting. They started doing retail arbitrage, selling on eBay. Now they've built over a $25 million business. And it's with Wholesale. So they actually, they have a free workshop. It's a 4-day workshop. And they just posted workshop number 1. You can see the replay. I don't think I have it in the description, but if you go to RaikenProfit.com/free workshop, RaikenProfit.com/free workshop, go sign up for that. Lenny just said he went through that and he got a lot of value from it. It's really good. It's really inspiring. And even if you're not planning on starting a wholesale business, it's something really great to learn. Keep investing in yourself, because you could continue going to thrift stores, garage sales, consignment stores, auctions, flea markets. But imagine if you had a small portion of your business where you just put in, you know, you called somebody up, because what they teach is how to build relationships with suppliers, which isn't that hard. It isn't that hard if you follow their system. And you don't need a ton of money to do it either. Sometimes you can just get started with a couple $100 and you build a relationship, you find a profitable deal, and all you gotta do is call them up and they send the stuff to you. I know it sounds too good to be true, but there's tons of people doing it. You guys follow Rally Roots, Rockstar Flipper, they're all doing it. Not a lot of people are talking about this though, but you can get products coming directly to you. You don't have to necessarily go out and source everything. And a lot of times the margins are even better. So definitely check it out. I'll put a link down below, but go to RaikenProfit.com/free workshop. Sign up for that because it's only going on for a couple more days, the sign up link, and it's 100% free. So check it out. Kelly says, well, $2 super chat from Kelly Hustle. If you build it, they will come. Thanks for all you do. Thanks so much, Kelly Hustle. I appreciate it. You want to build it. You want to immerse yourself in the process each and every day. One of the things I've been learning to do is disconnect myself from the outcome. So think about it in a way of like, say you want to build an eBay business that makes $1,000 a month. disconnect yourself from that goal of $1,000. It's great to have a goal and repeat it all the time, but you don't want your central thought process to be thinking $1,000, $1,000, $1,000. What I would rather do at first is immerse myself in what it's going to take to make a $1,000 business. Who am I going to have to be? What am I going to have to do to build a $1,000 a month business? You want to know what you're going to have to be? You have to be the type of person who's disciplined, the type of person who lists 10 items a day, the type of person who goes out sourcing 3 times a week. Have a little, poster board or a journal where you check off, okay, I listed for an hour today. I went out sourcing today, right? I studied the sold listings for 30 minutes, because if you become that type of person and you immerse yourself in that process, you're gonna build a $1,000 business a month. So hopefully that adds some value. Hey, Mary, what's going on? Electra, 60-day total 16,500. I was up to 20K last fall. Well, if it's dropping, I would ask yourself, what am I doing? I would start to assess, what have I been doing differently? Why did I drop off from 20K to 16.5? Have I not been listing as much? Did I take my foot off the pedal for a couple of months? Because a lot of times, our results today aren't because of what we did today. A lot of times, how we look, like for example, my body, my energy, the amount of money in my bank account is all from the decisions I made over the last month, 3 months, 6 months. And I know Jeff Bezos talked about this in one of his earnings calls, or one of his investor calls. And he said, the stock price of Amazon's been baked in for a year. Everything he's doing today is for the stock price a year from now, 2 years from now. So that's how I like to look at things. Brick by brick. So anyways, I just want to thank you guys for watching. I got to get rolling right now, but I'm super grateful that you guys are all watching the Raiken Profit channel. I appreciate you. If you guys found value in this video, do me a big favor and smash that like button. Leave a comment down below. Let me know where you're from and what you're really excited for in your eBay business over 2020, over the year 2020. What are you really excited for? What are you blessed for? What are you grateful for? And with that being said, I will see you in the next video. And thanks everyone for watching live. Peace.